Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Brittany with Horoscope.com. Here are 3 things you need to know in order to make today, Sunday, March 24th, 2019, a success. Now the first thing I want to talk about is going to be right here where the moon is in Scorpio. When the moon's in Scorpio, it brings our attention to changing some things up in our life, also some of our deepest feelings and desires, and also some of our closest, most intimate relationships, working with that. Now, what we've got going on very, very early this morning, while many of us may be sleeping, is this moon in Scorpio making a trine over here to Neptune in Pisces. What this can bring is a lot of stuff going on in our soul, subconsciously, emotionally, spiritually, that we're trying to work out. Can make some very vivid or interesting dreams as well at this time too. Since this is happening overnight, Neptune's involved, Neptune's close to Mercury, that could be coming up. Our subconscious mind and spiritual mind is trying to do some work to help us move forward and progress and to do the things that we need in order to move on. Now what's going on a few hours after that, still while many of us are sleeping, is this moon in Scorpio is then going to make a trine over here to Mercury and Pisces. So again, I think there's a lot going on that we're thinking about, or if we're not thinking about it consciously, that kind of our periphery is thinking about that we are trying to work out and to get right with. We're trying to understand what we really want in life, how we can work with our relationships in the best way so that we can overcome the past and move forward. And I think that's what we're feeling. That's going to stick with us for a few hours. The next alignment is going to be around breakfast time as we are getting up and moving around. Around breakfast time, this moon in Scorpio is then going to make a sextile over here to Saturn in Capricorn. Now this I do like a good bit. I think what this is going to help us to do here is to start to change the direction our life is going in, or to start to feel much better about the direction our life is going in. Perhaps some of the stuff that was that we were thinking about, or that was like in our minds and in our periphery while we were sleeping or earlier in the day, all starts to gel and come together and make sense here around breakfast, so that we know what we need to do and how we need to do it, and we start to feel much better that some of our emotional and spiritual stuff has found an outlet or expression in some kind of way. All right, so that's what happens there. That's going to sit with us for a few hours. The next alignment is then going to be around lunchtime. Around lunchtime, this moon in Scorpio is then going to make a sextile over here to Pluto and Capricorn. So to me, that is another positive thing, really helping us to feel like our life is going in a different direction, to really help us feel like we're stepping into it and transforming and going there. A few hours after that, this moon in Scorpio is then going to make a trine over here to the North Node in Cancer. Another positive thing, especially with a little bit of a water trine happening today with the moon. I think there's a chance for us, to work the emotions out. If anything, the past few days emotionally has been uncomfortable, uncertain, challenging, especially in regards to relationships, overcoming the past with relationships, moving into different relationship chapters. I think this is the day when we start to figure out what emotionally is causing the issue there with that, why we don't feel right, and where we finally start to understand how we can work with our emotions in better, more productive, and more positive ways to move forward, and where it really starts to hit in, to sink in emotionally and spiritually in positive ways about what's going on in our life, okay? So I actually really do like this going on this morning, where we're starting to understand emotionally and spiritually where our life is going, and to feel better about stepping into it in maybe some ways we didn't previously. The next thing that's going to occur after this is going to be around dinner time. Now around dinner time, this moon in Scorpio is then going to make an opposition over here to Mars and Taurus. Now that can be a little bit frustrating after we get this great clarity, insight, especially emotional clarity, emotional peace that comes in the morning. Then we can get some frustrations around dinner. That frustration is going to be about taking all these things that we're feeling, that we want, about the future, about this direction we see our life going in, and beginning to make it practical and make it real. Perhaps things aren't real yet and the way that we want them to be. We're starting to put the things that we want and desire for our new life into practice, but it's not all there. There's still more that needs to be worked out to actually live the life that we feel and that we want. And I think that could create a little bit of the challenge. How do we do that? In what way? How do we get the balance right between feeling and wanting things and making them happen? The next alignment after that is going to occur a few hours later around bedtime. Around bedtime, this moon in Scorpio is then going to make a square over here to Venus in Aquarius. So I think that also becomes a challenge here of loosening up a little bit from some of our desires and some of the things that we're feeling emotionally. Even if we're feeling beautiful things emotionally, I think we're going to have to loosen up from a little bit of our feelings to not only make our feelings real and manifest in reality, but to see different possibilities for our future and to think a little bit more long term in some way. Okay, that starts to come at the nighttime. All right, and those are the only alignments the moon is making today. So what I want to leave you with that, because I know it was a lot, is definitely emotional peace and clarity comes in the morning. It's positive. Okay, but realize that it's still going to take some more time for you to take what you're feeling and to manifest it outwardly, and that in order to do that, you might need to loosen your grip on some of your expectations so that what needs to happen can happen in the right place and at the right time. All right. The second thing I want to talk about, maybe I'll go here to Venus, because Venus is moving into the last few degrees of Aquarius. When a planet's at the last degrees of a sign, it becomes a little more superpowered, because the last degrees of a sign are more mature degrees of a sign, and the 29th degree, what will be in another day or two, are super critical. What this can bring here is a lot that we're trying to figure out here about our relationships and our money. What does the future look like with relationships and money? What are our goals and dreams, or new goals and dreams about our life? And what do we ultimately want our life to look like? That's going to come into play here. And I think needing to allow yourself to see your relationships and money going in an unusual direction, to maybe even break tradition with Aquarius involved when it comes to your relationships and money, and to not be afraid to think big, and to think to blue sky. Yeah, blue sky thinking, to let your mind go to different places to help you move forward. Okay, I think that will be key. The next thing I want to talk about here, maybe I'll go number 3, Mercury and stationing with Neptune here. I do believe clarity is starting to come. I think it should have already been coming a few days ago, and I think it's still coming here. We're getting the answers we need to move forward, to figure out what's going on next in our life, how we want to rearrange our relationships and money in order to create the things that it is that we want. But answers may not be coming in the same way we expected, in the same way we thought they would come a few days ago, a few weeks ago, a few months ago here. And I think needing to be open for you to get the answers you need in different ways. We may have all these boxes of, well, if I'm going to do this, or make this move, or make this trip, or have this happen, then I need to be told in this way, and these things need to happen A, B, C in order to align perfectly, in order for me to know that this is what I meant to do. And I think this alignment is saying, look, things are happening in your favor to help you move forward, to help you overcome the past, to help you heal, to help you move on. But you got to be open to the way that Spirit speaks. And you got to be open to things coming in weird ways. And you got to be open to small promptings here happening inside you intuitively and spiritually in order to guide you in the right direction. So this is not about forcing and pushing things, even though we could feel very, very deeply. I think this is about letting the Spirit and the intuition guide, and be open to unusual sources, help in weird places, and strange solutions to things. And I think if you can be open to receive insights that come, and to stop forcing things to occur in certain ways, there's a lot of beautiful stuff that can begin to happen in the next few days as we move forward. So that is your daily planetary forecast for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow.